Okay, let me ask you something that might sound a little crazy. If someone looked at your current list of goals, could they guess your exact bank balance? It sounds like a total stretch, right? But this is actually the exact provocative challenge that a man named Earl Shoaff presented to his young mentee, Jim Rohn, decades ago. Shoaff had this wild theory. An absolute absence of written goals perfectly predicts a lack of financial progress.
So Schwab looks right at Rohn and says, if you don't have a list of your goals, I can guess your bank balance within a few hundred. You know what the craziest part is? He nailed it. He guessed it perfectly. Now for Jim Rohn, who at the time had just recently been milking cows for a living, this was an absolute massive wake-up call. It hit him right then and there that simply writing down his goals could completely alter his life's trajectory. I mean, it was literally the catalyst that shifted him from struggling on a farm to achieving massive worldwide success.
So, welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're taking Jim Rohn's legendary classic seminar and systematically distilling it down into a highly actionable, visual blueprint for your own personal transformation. If you've ever felt like you're just, crossing your fingers and hoping the favorable winds somehow blow your way, well, we're about to replace all that hope with a concrete, structural design. Let's get right into it. We've got 6 rigid pillars to organize this philosophy and really design a better life. We just covered number 1, the bank balance test. Next, we'll hit finding your big why. Then, purpose stronger than object. 4th is the habit of self-worth. 5th, the person you become. And finally, we'll wrap up with a really crucial warning: behold and beware. Moving on to pillar number 2, finding your big why. This right here is the engine of your ambition. Rohn argues that the promise of the future is this awesome, almost miraculous force. It is the absolute ultimate engine for overcoming whatever adversity or difficulty you're dealing with right now. But to fire up that engine, he asks 2 incredibly tough questions, and I actually want to break the 4th wall here and ask them directly to you. First, what has got you turned on? I mean, what gets you jumping out of bed early, keeps you up late, and makes you maximize your abilities all day long? And second, what has got you turned off? Why don't you have that zest, that vitality, that real appetite for daily accomplishment right now? Rohn actually tackled this by making a list of everything that turned him off, and then built a totally new list of everything that would turn him on in the future. He called the whole exercise a personal revolution.
And that brings us to this crucial point. When the why gets stronger, the how gets easier. It's almost like magic. Rohn explains that if your reasons are big enough and powerful enough, the whole how-to part miraculously just solves itself. Think about time management, for example. If your goals aren't inspiring, why on earth would you bother studying how to manage your time? But if your reasons are deeply tied to some massive future promise, you're going to automatically grab a book, take a class, do whatever it takes to figure out the time management piece. The challenge isn't learning the skill. The challenge is finding the reason behind it.
Okay, our 3rd concept: purpose stronger than object. This is your target. So now we're shifting gears to how you actually go about designing those goals. Because just wanting things, wanting stuff, it's just not enough. We have to rigorously define what those things are actually for. Let's say your goal is this incredible $1 million home on a hill overlooking the Snake River Valley. Rohn points out that, at the end of the day, a house is just an object. It's literally just bricks, wood, walls, and a roof. That's the object. But if you stop and ask, wait, what is this for? You uncover the purpose. If that house is meant to be the absolute centerpiece of all your family's activity, a place where really unique people come and go and where you build lasting influence, boom, now you have a purpose. And purpose pulls us so much harder than mere objects ever could.
Next up is the 4th pillar, the habit of self-worth. This is the foundation of the whole thing. This is where we look at how our physical environment shapes us and how incredibly small, seemingly insignificant daily actions actually dictate our internal value. Let me share this great little anecdote from the source material. What difference does dropping a tiny cellophane toothpick wrapper really make? Rohn tells the story about being at a cafe as a kid, taking the little cellophane wrapper off a toothpick and just letting it flutter to the floor. Well, his mother immediately stopped him. She said, "No, you wouldn't do that at home. Put it in your pocket and throw it away when we get back."
Now, you might be thinking, who cares about a tiny little wrapper, but look at how this builds. It scales up from pocketing cafe trash to making sure you turn off the lights when you leave a hotel room to conserve energy. Look at step 3. Yes, sure, you're making a small contribution to the environment or the hotel's electric bill, but the ultimate beneficiary is actually you. Doing these super easy things when absolutely no one is watching primarily constructs this deep, incredible feeling of self-worth. It turns you into a person of unique habits. It makes you feel genuinely good about yourself, which, in turn, makes you a uniquely attractive person to be around. Which brings us to Pillar 5, the person you become. This is the ultimate goal.
Honestly, this is the whole shebang. It's the core thesis of this entire explainer. True value in this world is not derived from the physical objects you manage to acquire. It is derived entirely from your own personal evolution. It is not what you get that makes you valuable. It is what you become. This was Jim Rohn's core public message for 39 years. You have to actively develop the skills, the attitude, and the temperament that make you undeniably attractive to the marketplace, to the business world, and to your family. The real, explosive stimulation in life comes from becoming a highly capable, attractive person.
So I really want you to genuinely chew on this question. What kind of person must I become to achieve all I want? Do you need to be wiser? A bit stronger? Do you maybe need physical, spiritual, or skills coaching right now? You basically have to build such an incredible reputation that when you finally knock on the door of opportunity and that door swings open, the person standing there instantly invites you inside.
So, how do we actually become that person? By going right back to where we started, the raw, practical necessity of writing your goals down. Step 1, get those ideas out of your head. Step 2, commit them to paper. This formalizes everything, turning these vague, floating ideas into massive enterprises. And step 3 is so vital. You can rearrange or literally tear up the list as you grow. It is perfectly fine to completely change your list over a 12-month period. I mean, if you go after 100 things and achieve 80 of them, but you realize the other 20 just don't matter anymore because of the person you've become in the process, that's not a failure. That is a massive victory.
Finally, our sixth pillar. Behold and beware, the caution.
As we're designing this incredible future, we have to introduce a closing philosophical warning from Rohn about the real cost of blind ambition and the duality of the things we pursue in life. Rohn points to these two great words of antiquity. First is behold. This is the positive side, right? Behold the possibilities, behold the opportunity, behold the arrival of spring and the sunshine. We absolutely must look at the future and give it design. But right next to it is a very heavy, negative word, beware. We have to beware of the dangers. Rohn freely admits that early in his life, he became so utterly obsessed with acquiring certain things that he paid way too steep a price. He paid with his virtues and his friendships. We have to constantly balance the positive design of the future with the negative risk of compromising our deepest values. A huge part of this caution involves how you pragmatically manage your negative emotions. Just look at these points. The greatest, most devastating form of unhappiness is self-unhappiness, just being deeply disappointed in yourself. Now, on the flip side, a mild form of unhappiness or worry is actually super constructive. I mean, that's what keeps you from stepping off the curb in Manhattan and getting wiped out by a yellow taxi. But desperate unhappiness, that will destroy you. And the exact same thing goes for hate. Don't waste your hate on your daily job or some minor inconvenience. Save your hate for the truly important things, like actual evil, or the weeds that are actively trying to choke out your garden.
I want to leave you with this final stark warning to just sort of let linger in your mind today. Beware of what you become in pursuit of what you want. Take a really hard look at your own ambition right now. As you're chasing down all these massive goals, who is the person you are actually turning into?